Hello guys and welcome to the Russian Football News Predictions League bonus round. This weekend we have a postponed league fixture between Krasnodar and Dynamo Moscow, but we also have Russian Cup semi-final. Now we've missed three fixtures since the restart because some teams have not been able to fulfil fixtures. Pardon me. So what we're going to do is slightly unorthodox, but we're going to throw in the Russian Cup semi-final and final as extra predictions in the Predictions League. Now, by the end of week 30, match day 30, which will be on Wednesday evening or afternoon in the UK, we may well already have a winner for the Predictions League, but we're going to throw the Russian Cup final in anyway. But we'll come to that later. For this round, we have Krasnodar at home to Dynamo Moscow in the evening in the Russian Premier League, the postponed game. We have Russian Cup semi-final in Yekaterinburg, Ural against Khimki. And then we have the biggest game of the weekend, which is Zenit at home to Spartak in the other Russian Cup semi-final. Let's start with the league fixture, Krasnodar against Dynamo Moscow. Now, Krasnodar are in third place. They are 2 points clear of CSK Moscow. Third place is the last Champions League place, but third place only gets you into the qualifiers for the Champions League, which is where Krasnodar found themselves last summer. If Krasnodar lose, then it all goes down to the last game, and CSK Moscow would have a shot at Champions League football, which none of us would have predicted 3 weeks ago. On the other hand, if Krasnodar win, they would go to 52 points. Lokomotiv in second, which guarantees you group stage qualification for Champions League, are on 54 points. So a win on Sunday from Krasnodar closes that gap to 2 points, meaning that Krasnodar need to win and Lokomotiv need to not win for Krasnodar to get group stage football. Now, the reason why a Lokomotiv draw on the final day and another Krasnodar win at home to Akhmat, the reason why that would mean Krasnodar would take second is because of the tiebreakers when you're level on points. Now, the very first tiebreaker is head-to-head record. If they're level on points, it goes to head-to-head record. Lokomotiv and Krasnodar both drew 1-1 at home. So the head-to-head record is dead level. After that, it goes to number of wins. If Lokomotiv draw on the final day, they will finish with 15 wins. Krasnodar right now have 13. If they win on Sunday, 14. And if they win on the last match day, 15. So they're still level. After that, it goes to goal difference. Now, Krasnodar's goal difference is 6 goals better. And if Lokomotiv draw, of course, and Krasnodar win on Sunday and on Wednesday, then the goal difference would be even better. So a point on the last day for Lokomotiv, 2 wins for Krasnodar on Sunday and Wednesday means Krasnodar would finish second on goal difference. So the formula is simple. Krasnodar win, they have a chance of group stage Champions League football. If they lose, they might not get Champions League at all. So it's critical that they win. They will be motivated. Make no mistake whatsoever. Remy Cabert is virtually back from injury. He has made a couple of substitute appearances. He scored a Panenka penalty against Ural recently. So they're looking decent. Dynamo Moscow have pretty much all their players back. Charles Cabaret, for example, he actually made an appearance in their last game. They won 1-0 away to Ufa. They've actually won the last 2 in the league. Krasnodar have kept 2 clean sheets, as Dynamo have in the last 2 games. Krasnodar were a bit disappointing away to Krylia Sovietov in midweek. So they'll be looking for revenge. They'll be looking to stamp home their superiority over Dynamo. They are the better side. And Dynamo, for obvious reasons, also have the motivation. For them, it's Europa League. 5th place Rostov are 7 points ahead of them, so they can't catch them. There's only 6 points left to play for. If Dynamo win on Sunday, they are currently 6th, 1 point ahead of 7th. So a win, of course, puts them 4 points clear with 1 game to go, which guarantees them 6th place. Now, this would mean Europa League football if Zenit win the Russian Cup. Zenit, and we'll come to that prediction in a moment against Spartak. Zenit winning the Russian Cup is extremely likely. They are the favourites at this stage. And because they've won the league, they are automatically in the Champions League group stage. So the Russian Cup winners' place in the Europa League will go to 6th place in the Russian Premier League, which at this moment would be Dynamo Moscow. So a win for Dynamo on Sunday guarantees them Europa League football. Not group stage qualifiers, but still, it is all they can get at this point. So they're both extremely motivated. Now, I really can't see much beyond a Krasnodar win here, and I think it's going to be high scoring. High scoring simply because they scored 3 goals in the last home game against Ural. The game before that, there were 6 goals in total in the match. And also, Dynamo are reasonably confident. They've won the last 2 games without conceding. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win to Krasnodar. I really am confident that they will have what it takes. Now, moving on to the Russian Cup semi-final. I'll be in Yekaterinburg tomorrow lunchtime, well actually morning in the UK. It'll be 11 o'clock UK kickoff. There's no mixed zone, so I won't be able to get you any exclusive interviews or comments, but I will do my own little reports from the stands where we'll be socially distanced in the press box. But it is going to be a comfortable semi-final win for Ural. I'm even confident to say it's a fact. I don't think there's any doubt. Why? Well, for a start, Ural are focused entirely on the Russian Cup. They are safe from relegation, but they have realistically no hope of finishing 6th because of the permutations of other games that will happen above them. So they know that the Russian Cup is their best chance of getting into Europe. Now, they've been in the Russian Cup final twice in the last 3 years, losing both times to Lokomotiv. In Sochi in 2017 and 2019 last year in Samara. But now, the home game in the final is in Yekaterinburg at the Centralny. So, the motivation is fairly clear. Khimki are a second-tier side. Not only are they a second-tier side, they're likely to remain a second-tier side. They actually have earned, by sporting merit, promotion to the Russian Premier League. And yet, it is still not confirmed. It seems unlikely that they will actually go up to the Premier League. We still haven't had that confirmed one way or the other yet, so I can't quite give you that. But they haven't played competitive football for 4 months. The FNAL, the second tier, was finished early, unlike the Russian Premier League. So they haven't played a competitive game for 4 months. They've played 3 or 4 friendlies. They've won all of them against third-tier opposition in the last couple of weeks. But they are woefully out of practice. Ural are motivated. Ural will rest their players. They have rested before this weekend. A few have rotated. So I can't see anything other than a really convincing Ural win. I'm going to go for 3-0 because Ural can score goals when they play against average sides or when they're under pressure. And they do show up in the big games. So I'm going to go for another 3-0 win to Ural. The other semi-final is a lot more, well, I'll be honest, a lot more interesting and a lot harder to call. Zenit at home to Spartak Moscow. Now, Zenit have won the title, comfortable winners, fully deserved. They have rotated and rested almost all of their main players in the last 2 game weeks, so they're fully rested. They're at home. It's against their bitter rivals Spartak Moscow. Spartak are in virtual disarray. I mean, Spartak themselves, they failed to win any of their 5 matches before last week, and when they actually did win, to be fair, against Akhmat Grozny, Dominika Tedesco is in the stands. He won't be on the bench because he's got a sideline ban. Don't know where to start. Spartak have plenty of firepower. Alexander Sobolev is on 12 goals, I think it is, for the season. Jordan Larson and Ezekiel Ponce. 2 of those 3 will be starting up front. Tedesco likes, or his assistants under his instruction, like to play 2 up front. Alex Kral has been a beast in central midfield. So on their day, they can be devastating. The problem is they're facing Zenit and they're facing them away. I've got to go for a Zenit win in this one. I think because there's quite a lot of tension around the game, I'm not actually sure it's going to be a high-scoring game. But I think Zenit are going to edge it 1-0. Now, in theory, it could be any score. It could be like 4-3 for all we know. But I just somehow find that because it's a big game, Zenit have not blown teams out of the water. While they've won comfortably quite often, they haven't raced away with a lot of 3 or 4 goal margins. So I don't see them actually overstraining themselves, to be quite honest with you. They won't care at all about the final league game on Wednesday, and so they won't need to worry about resting players for the final. They will just simply play the full-strength side. Spartak also really only have the cup left, realistically. So I'm going to go for 1-0 to Zenit. Okay, there we go, guys. That was a much more in-depth preview than usual because there's only 3 games to cover, so we've got a bit more time to play with. Guys, the deadline for these is 11 a.m. UK time on Sunday, tomorrow. Or at least if it depends if you're watching this on Sunday or not. So get them in as early as you possibly can. I'm going for 3 games to make up for the 2 games that we missed, and I'm going to throw in the cup final as well for next round as well. So good luck, guys, and please let everybody know who also plays the game so that we don't miss out. And guys, look on Twitter, Andrew MIJ Flint. I'll be doing some videos or some sort of coverage from Yekaterinburg tomorrow from the cup semi-final, and also the cup final as long as the accreditation comes through, which should do, I hope. Thanks for now. I'll catch you next time.